I'm honestly pretty worried right now about Guardian of the Witch. It's not doing the best from what I understand in terms of like where it's ranked. It hasn't get sold yet, but I don't imagine it just kind of like skyrocketing up from the position it was already at, given the potential of sales. I mean, maybe there's always the hope. I can really hope that they end up doing that. But right now, gonna stick with the series. Bums me out to think of anything kind of getting canceled like that. When I mean, the author clearly is putting in effort. It just doesn't seem like anybody's really taking the bait, taking the bite, and being dragged into the series. Though I think that in a good way. I don't mean that in a bad way. Because I've so far have enjoyed Guardian of the Witch. I like the premise. I like the plot. I like the characters so far. I think it's all doing pretty well. But we'll see. Either way. So now at the start, we have this guy who is the what is it, rector? I think it was called of this town. What was it of the? I don't remember if the town was named. I have to look it up. Oh no, it was. It was Volley. It even says on literally the first panel. This guy's like they're like talking to him, and this dude's pretty weird. He's as the priest. You'd think that he'd be a lot nicer. I know that they're not the nicest to the witches, but you'd think the other people, like the other humans, they'd at least be somewhat nice to. I don't know. Either way, like this dude's coming off like a real weirdo, and you have Cloud, and he's not Claude, and he's just kind of doing his thing, just trying to get things all set up, and he can tell this guy is kind of like bad news. He even says he's like, oh, this guy is he's a frightening kind of individual. He doesn't want to mess with him. He doesn't want to get in his way. He doesn't want to deal with him. Obviously, like in this so far in the series, there's not a lot of like, there's not been anything that's like crazy power levels to the point where any of these soldiers couldn't kill a renegade witch or a renegade guardian. They seem still somewhat capable. So I'm curious to know what exactly like this guy's big like scheme is, if he's gonna be pushing all these guys, because all it's really gonna take is someone to say screw this guy and take him out, because you got all these dudes who are pretty much superhuman, and you have the witches involved, and all it's gonna take is one good enough uprising in order to overthrow these guys. I mean, they don't know they're corrupt yet. They kind of would probably just come off as a little bit douchey, but from this you have you got Fafnir, Nana, and Manasva, and they're kind of just discussing right now. And they're like, "Oh, well, they think that the eye patch that witch had was actually to cover up like the markings from her evil seed spreading. We gotta figure out what we need to do. We don't know if there's a deep pool of like other witches within the city. We couldn't be too sure. But what we do know right now is that there is a witch that potentially need our help. And you see her like back in a room. She like strips down, and you can see like almost her whole body of just covered in the evil seed markings. It's just kind of like encroaching over her body like a bunch of like thorn brambles. But while she's like thinking about it, and she's just trying to be like, I can't afford to be like afraid. I can't afford not to fight. I can't afford to kind of like pull my own weight. She knows that she's got a big responsibility as one of these witches, but I don't think the trade-off is as good for temporarily like, oh cool, we're okay. I mean, just train more people to be like really powerful like Fafnir, and then man, you get physical strength and pretty powerful dudes, and you don't have to worry about them eventually turning evil and someone have to killing them and all the stuff that's going on right now. I mean, we haven't even seen like any big deal evils yet, so that's kind of hard to say. Like once we start getting like named ones, I would imagine they're gonna get significantly stronger. And I just bet there's gonna be a humanoid one. There's gonna be some monster that kept like its human shape, but now you got them like all kind of grouped up. I did really like that Manasa put her hand just over Fafnir's eyes. I thought that was just pretty funny. I almost said Tandro. Fafnir just like, listen, we aren't here to fight. He's doing all this like completely eyes like trying to think of the word, shrouded. That'd be a good one. Concealed, obstructed. I think vision obstructed works. Yeah, he's got his vision obstructed by this, but he's still like trying to converse with her. So during that, she's like, listen, we came here to talk. We're trying to get to the city of Noir. We want to talk to the witch there that potentially retired and is not turning into evil anymore. We want to see how things are going. We kind of just want to get in there and be able to gauge on what's happening. But this girl speaking, she's not having it. She's not having it. She's like, listen, there might be a way for us to survive, but vague rumors aren't enough for me. Because she's in her mind, it would be throwing away everything she has in a maybe this guy even exists. Like, they don't know his name, they don't know anything about him. So you can tell that and that idea is like it sounds like a good possibility, but the trade-off of if it's fake is not good. It won't be good at all. And instead, she like uses her magic, because we know that her base one is gravity manipulation. She pulls up like a bunch of stuff out of the room, throws one. It hits Manasfa, causes her some bleeding, but she doesn't seem too phased by it. And shortly after that, while they're kind of like conversing, well, first off, you have almost said Masa. Still used to a lot of these names. Manasfa having kind of like explaining like, listen, my guardian told me that he just sees me as like a normal girl, and I was really happy to hear that. And you could tell that the other girl, Spica, wants to know that too. Like, it's like, even tells her like, you are normal right now. You're a normal person. You're a normal like human girl. You need to get your kind of like understand where you're at and where you're coming from in order, to kind of determine what you're going to do next. But right after that, you have Cloud. He comes in. Is it Cloud or Claude? I think it's Claude. But he rushes in. He knows that something's up. But before the dude gets a chance, you have Fafnir grab Manasfa and Nada, and just they use them as fiery boots to kind of just rocket himself out of there, all Shinra style. But shortly after that, you have you get some guys like chasing after him. Looks like they're about to intercept. Spica and Cloud have they're hot on the trail, and they're getting ready to pretty much just track them down and do their business. That whole like idea for you have each of them are gonna have witches and guardians. At the same time, they're also just gonna automatically pretty much be hostile. I thought was just a really neat way to start the series, because they're people on a run. Like, they're criminals on the run right now. I mean, it's as far as the world understands. Like, they did everything wrong, and they need to be stopped. But other than that, though, pretty solid chapter. I think like it was like 20 pages, but it read really fast. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I felt like I was reading a Bleach chapter for a second, which is the amount of time you can kind of like drift through really fast. But I did really like the comments when he's talking about like, listen, I was happy when you told me that he's like, when I was just a normal person, normal girl, and that she's trying to convey it over to Spica afterwards as well. Like, you're trying to use that same thing to fix her, what fixed fixed herself. Meanwhile, I am looking forward to this fight. I like Cloud's fighting style. I like his kind of like rapier sword and grab manipulation. It just looks super badass. But other than that, though, comment below. Tell me your thoughts about this chapter, and tell me your thoughts about this series. I mean, I don't imagine a ton of people will be jumping on it, but at the same time, I'm like, it's pretty fun. Like, I enjoy it. I absolutely enjoy it. So I would definitely recommend it to other people. I'd say, check it out, give it a shot. Maybe you like these characters. You figure out what they like, and as much as you'd understand, I'm sure everyone's here's recommended stuff to their friends, but you know what I mean. Either way, other than that, like I said, comment below, thumbs up the video, from the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. Other than that, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and I thank you all for listening. Bye.